videos ain't gonna catch the first thing I say because they don't all the time. But it's good to be back in the whip. Just got done with work. I hit my goal, and that's what I want to talk about today. Hitting your goals. Specifically, keeping your goals alive. I know we've all run into a time in our life when we had a goal, we were really big on that goal, and then it didn't come to fruition. Mostly because we let that goal die. So I want to talk about keeping your goals alive. How do you do that? Well, if you keep your goal alive long enough, you give it enough energy and enough life force, it's going to come true. Some people speak about manifesting and stuff like that. That's cool, and that helps in a degree, but I don't believe that's fully, the full detail or the right track to follow. I don't think that's 100% replicable. I don't think it's 100% gonna make the goal come true. But I guarantee you, if you watch this video in its entirety, you will have so many different ways, for sure, guaranteed, to keep your goal alive and, most importantly, achieve your goal, as long as it's somewhat realistic. And honestly, even as I'm saying that, you know what? People set goals of flying in the fucking sky, and that shit was ridiculous, bonkers before, and it eventually came true. Elon Musk has a goal of getting to Mars, and you know what? That motherfucker might just do it. So anyway, before we get into the tactics or the things that you can do to keep your goals alive and the way that you can, make sure your goal does not die, more importantly, I want to give you a couple of statistics. You are 42% more likely to achieve your goals, according to a Harvard study, when they are written down. And what's crazy, another Harvard study that's referenced, and there's some debate over it, but roughly 3% of people, only 3% of people write down their goals. So you already become the top 97 percentile of the world just simply by writing down your goals. That's crazy to me. If you don't have your goals written down, literally pause this fucking video and write your goals down right now. That is bonkers stupid. If you're not writing your goals down, write them the fuck down. All of a sudden, 42%, take that extra percent, and you're more likely to succeed. Be crazy with your goals too. Who gives a fuck? Write them down. You're more likely to make them true. Another statistic, when you are reviewing your goals weekly or sharing them with somebody, you are 76% more likely to achieve those goals versus only 35% likely to achieve them when you don't. So you get an extra 41%. I already gave you 42%. Now I'm giving you another 41% more likely to achieve your goals simply by reviewing them or sharing them with somebody. Now, if you review them weekly, in my own personal life, that has been more likely to happen, or more, it's helped me more than actually having an accountability partner. I don't like the idea of accountability partners for the most part. Honestly, I don't think they help. I just don't think that they help. I don't feel like any sort of regret when I share with somebody, yeah, I didn't do it today. Like, I can rationalize that. I'm in sales. Like, it's easy as fuck to do. But if I'm reviewing them constantly with myself, at a certain point, I just get fucking annoyed with myself, where it's just like, all right, bro, I've been writing this down for like 3 weeks. Like, come on, let's actually fucking do it. Because I take the time to write it down, not just once, but I write it down consistently. And that takes me into the tactics. One of the most important things to do, don't just write your goals down. Write them down consistently. Like, consistent as fuck. I'm literally reading from a journal right now. This isn't even where I put my goals. This is where I write down notes for videos and shit, and I journal after the field and whatnot. But let's stay on topic here. Write down goals consistently. I have another journal. So this is one. I have another one that I use when it comes to sales. I'm obviously, like I said, in sales. I finished today hitting my goal, and I will show you every single day I am writing down my goals as far as what I want to accomplish today. So let's go to today. Today is the 11th, and I hit my goal. I got 7 sales in like 5 hours or whatever. Boom, hit my goal. The day before, you can see all of these different days. So let's go just to the front. This is 10/8. This is 9/11. Interesting date, randomly pulled up. 8/20. Like, you can see every single day I'm writing down my goals. I'm writing down what are my actions, what am I doing toward that goal, what is going well, what is not going well, what are my notes along the way. I'm reviewing. It's constant. It's at the forefront of my mind when I'm in sales, when I'm focusing on the day and how I should hit, that number. And I'm giving myself real-time feedback, real-time, criticism on what I can do better, what I need to change, what is going well, so I can write it down, not only for the day, but later on I can review that shit if I have those goals written down. I can't remember the shit that happened all of the time. But an interesting thing about paper is paper never forgets. So, number 1, write down your goals. Number 2, write them down consistently as fuck. Number 3, put your goals somewhere you see them daily. Put them on a clipboard. I have a daily plan where every single day I got to plan different people on my team that I'm managing and whatnot. I also put my goals there, at least for the day. What is my to-do list? What are the things I need to accomplish today? It's written down. And every single day I write it down again. But we don't need to beat a dead horse. Write your goals down, write them down consistently. Number 3 is put them somewhere you can see them daily. Whether it's a clipboard, if you have a daily plan, whether it's just putting them on your mirror, whether it's putting it as the background on your phone. If you want your goals not to die, you need to give them more life. Put them somewhere where you're going to see them on a consistent basis in your day-to-day life. Don't create this notes page in your phone where you never go back to that notes page. That's how your goals die. But if you put them somewhere physically on paper, again, paper never forgets. If you put them on paper and you put them in a place in your life, you can even put a note card. And matter of fact, just to show you that I practice what I preach, I actually ran out of note cards. That's hilarious. Well, I need to get note cards. And guess what? I can write that down. But I would take a note card. I would put it in your mirror in your fucking car. Every time you're getting into your car, you see your goals. And then you place it down. And whenever you're getting out, you put it back up so you can drive safely. But you put it back up so when you get back in your car, guess what? Boom, your goals. You see them all of the time. You give them more life. And again, it causes them not to die. But also, you to focus on your goals. An interesting statistic to take a segue is when you get a new car, for example, I'm driving a brand new Honda Accord. It's 2022, and I'm saying that 100% to brag. Not really, but that's the car that I drive. It's black. All of a sudden, once I got this car, I started seeing all these brand new Honda Accords driving around. Maybe it's mine's 2023. I don't know. Probably is. But I noticed all these other cars driving around that are the same car. Were those cars there before me getting this? Absolutely. Did I pay attention to them? No, because my reticular activation system in my brain didn't give it value. All of a sudden, because I drive this car now and it's consistently around in my life, I've given this car life, so to speak. I notice all the other cars that are out there. So if you look at your goals, you give your goals more life, they create an actual emotional reaction for yourself. All of a sudden, every little opportunity in relation to your goals becomes at the forefront of your mind. Your reticular activation system will focus on it. It'll pick out different ways that you can achieve your goals simply by you looking at them every day. You're welcome. So let's go a little bit deeper. So we've gone over 3. Let's go over number 4. Make relevant adjustments. I'll take that back. Number 4 is a progress report weekly. The positives, the negatives. What is going well, what is not going well. At least weekly. I do it every day, as you see. I actually do it in real time. Every down period in the day, I'm constantly readjusting, realigning myself. And realigning myself to my goals. I need to stay in alignment with what is going to end up happening. So I need to constantly review, and I need to make relevant adjustments. So that's number 4. Review weekly at least. At least. You just go over your goals. If your goal is get big, I want to gain 10 pounds this year. I want to put on some muscle. Great. Well, each week, review that goal. How is it going? Did I do the things that I planned on doing? Going to the gym, eating. Did I do that at least? What are some things that I noticed along the way? What are my internal thoughts? What is the obstacles I'm running into? Maybe I'm not getting enough breakfast in, so I need to prepare breakfast before I go to sleep. Whatever. If you have those weekly adjustments, guess what you're doing? You're giving your goals more life, and you are actually adjusting your life to align with the outcome that you said matters. And guess what? Your goal doesn't die. Let's keep going. Number 4, we already talked about. Number 5, set reminders, or in other words, triggers. So I have a trigger for myself, or a reminder that's built into my day. I'm always, every single day that I go and sell in a store, I'm going to go out of the store and going to my car and go home, or wherever I'm going. But I get into my car. And so instead of just journal every day, whatever, right? And I want to actively get better in different areas. I have certain questions in life, and I don't have time to think about the answer all the time. What I wrote down today is how I can make a better impact on my parents' life when it comes to working out. How can I do that? Well, I wrote that out. But I wouldn't have wrote that out. I've been sitting on that for a little bit, that question. because I haven't taken the time out to journal. And so I was like, okay, how can I do this? Oh, I can create a trigger. Instead of just whenever before I go to sleep, sometimes you can be tired, sometimes you can forget, sometimes you can be sleeping a different place, like I could be in fucking Paris or some shit, and all of a sudden it's a little bit out of the norm. But if every single day before I go home, and this isn't going to be every day, but it's going to be 5 days out of the week or whatever, I'm journaling, it's more journaling that is happening that wouldn't have happened otherwise, just because I put that trigger in place. So your trigger could be, well, as soon as I wake up, I need to eat. I'm putting on some weight this year. That's actually another one of my goals. So I make sure that I eat on a schedule. I set reminders. Eat breakfast. It sounds stupid, but it's true. Eat fucking breakfast. I eat breakfast. I make sure I eat before I go to the field and after I go to the field. And honestly, even if I can get another meal in, 4 meals is better than 3. And I'm going to definitely be putting on that weight. Yes, sir. As you see my transformation, as I continue going live, you're going to see a big boy pretty soon. But on a serious note, put reminders for eating more. Or another, sticking on number 5, setting reminders and triggers. For myself, it could be a negative goal, as far as I want to smoke less weed, or I want to smoke weed in a more conducive way for my everyday. I don't want to smoke weed and then have to still do things. I want to make sure if I'm smoking, it's the last thing that I do in the day, because I'm not as effective. But I do like smoking, and it does put me in a different mind state and gives me certain benefits. Whatever. I learned that from journaling, by the way. But the trigger is kind of anti-trigger. Once I do XYZ, then I can do reward. I can smoke weed. I can eat fucking cake. I can whatever, right? So setting reminders, triggers, super powerful one for number 5. Number 6, the earlier, the better. If you do it first in the day, it's most likely to get done. If you, and I guess in the reverse sense, I have to do X, Y, and Z, and then I can do this. Instead, I need to work out, and then I can go on with my life, and then I can, do what X, Y, Z, whatever. But I need to work out first if that's most important to you. So the earlier the better. If you can do something first, it's probably going to be better for you. Now, obviously, I'm going live on YouTube. I just make sure I do that every single night before I go to bed. Period. So that's how I do it. But the earlier the better. If you can set a schedule, even better. Better than nothing. But the earlier the better. Nonetheless. That's number 6. Number 7, keep your goals with you. So I talked about writing them down. I talked about putting them somewhere you can see. Even better is keep them with you. I know of a person who's now not just a salesperson, but a consultant managing literally 500 plus salespeople. Those salespeople every week are generating millions and millions of dollars. What he does to this day is he keeps his goals with him. He writes them down on a note card, but doesn't put them in his dash or in his mirror in his car. He puts them in his pocket. And every single time during the day, if he notices himself not paying full attention or just kind of going through the motions, he just touches his goal note card in his pocket and reminds him of what his focus, what his main goal in life is, and to focus on that. How strong of a reticular activation system do you think he has? He's just manifesting non-fucking stop. He sees this little opportunity that somebody else would just be like, doesn't even pay attention to, doesn't even notice. But that Mr. Man, I'm not going to say his name, but that dude who's out here crushing it, he notices opportunities in places where other people wouldn't, just simply because he wrote down his goals, put them with him, brings them with him wherever he goes, and he's all the better because of it. Number, what was that, 7? Number 8, right? Oh, I already talked about that one. Number 8, buy a journal. I did not write down the numbers. I'm just trying to make it more memorable. Maybe I wrote down 10. That would be an interesting synchronicity. But anyway, number 8, number 9, I already lost count. Buy a journal. I already showed you my journal right here that I'm literally reading from. Buy a journal. If you want to give your goals more life, well, guess what? If you buy something that's really nice, like a journal, and then you put some money into it, guess what? You're putting more life into your goals. You bought this whole journal. Now, all of a sudden, if you're writing down your goals all the time, it's fancy, special journal. You got a fancy little pen, too. You're giving your goals more life. It feels better simply writing down in the journal. It makes you more likely to write it down, more likely to tack on that extra 41, 42% on top of your goals. Reviewing them weekly, you're already doing it because you want to. It's easier to do it that way. So, buy a journal. In that journal, you can talk about the resistance you're having toward your goals, or the celebrating the wins, or documenting just the process of you accomplishing that goal. It makes it all the sweeter when you look back on it and you're like, damn, I am that person. I am that guy. Number 9, number 10, we don't know which number it is. Someone in the comments help me out. Tell me how many numbers I got. But this last one that I got for you is talk about your goals and the progress with family, friends, people who are close to you, and do it on a recurring schedule. If it's not a recurring schedule, it's very likely that your goals will be this really big thing for 1-2 months, but then eventually die because you don't give them enough attention on a recurring schedule, on a recurring basis. So, on the contrary, if you do things on a recurring schedule, on a recurring basis, I guarantee you your goals, they're going to stay alive, and eventually they're going to be accomplished, and you move on to even bigger, better goals. So, those are 9 or 10 ways, I don't know how many, on how you can keep your goals alive. And honestly, you got to treat your goals almost like a little flower when it's growing in its early stages. You got to water it every day. Your goals are no different. You need to water your goals. Instead of water, you got to give your goals focus. You got to give your goals energy. You got to give your goals life. Because if they only exist, think about the entire span of your life, 365 days. Let's even just call it that, 1 year. If you spend a mere 30 seconds thinking about your goals in relation to that entire time, how likely do you think your goals are to be accomplished? Very, very slim, unless they're boring ass goals like I'm going to tie my shoes every day this year. Well, if you want to actually accomplish some big things, you got to put some big energy into those goals. And it could be simply just reviewing those on a consistent basis. So doing that with other people, bringing other people into it, or, in the sense that I guess I'm bringing other people into my goals as well by putting them out online. In my first video, day 1, if you want to look at it. You want to bring other people into them. It's just other ways that you can give your goals life. You got to treat your goals like a flower, because at the end of the day, it really kind of is. It's a flower in your mental garden. And you don't want it to just stay a little seed. You don't want it to wither away and die. You need to water it, give it focus every single day. And as you continue to do that, your goals will grow into a beautiful, strong oak tree. You'll be successful. You'll achieve your goals. You'll move on to bigger, better things. And someday you'll send me a letter in the mail with a huge cash amount thanking me for this video. I'm just kidding. But I hope this helps. Have a great rest of your day.